Hey everyone, here we are, tutorial number 78, and this is Robin the Sudoku guy with yet another bit of fun, another adventure. I hope so. Here we go. This is one that I got from the Los Angeles Times, and it's one of these puzzles where it's a pattern, and some of these patterns are fun to do. But this one is not as easy as it looks because you've got these empty spaces here and here and here and here. But anyway, let's have fun, see what we can do. You ready? Let's go. First of all, we're going to do the basics. TMB, LCR, and this time if I see something ahead of time like a cross meet, I'm going to put it in. If you see something, do it right there. Here we go. Along across here first of all. We have two sixes. A 6 here and a 6 there gives us 2 6s in here. There's our 2 6s. 91, 7, 91, 7, 8, 8, and 9. There's 2 9s. And in this case, we have a 9 that can go 1, 2, 3. So I put it, for those who are beginners, there's a little clue. That means they're all going to be, one of these cells is going to be a 9. Okay, then that's about it for that one, I think. Just now go to this set in here, 1s. Here's a 1 at the bottom, here's a 1 on the top, the 1 has to be in the middle, and there's a 1 down in here, so it can go there and there. Great. 2s. We have a top 2 and a bottom 2, so the 2 has to be in here somewhere. Look up and down. Here's a 2 here, so we can go there and there. Good. 3s. Well, here we got 2 3s. We have a top and a middle. It has to be in the bottom down here. It can't be here because of that 3, so this is going to be a big 3. We've got a big number finally. Okay, 4, no 4s there at all. 5s. Here's something that I'd like to show. I've just noticed with the 5s, we can do the cross meet method using this block. And if I go across there and down here for that 5, we can have 2 5s in there, so I can put it there and there. Great. Pushing right along, we were 5 6s. No, only 1 6 in here. I know the 6 has to be, hey, look at this. Here's a 6, and here's a 6. That means that if this can be a 5 6 matching pair. Way to go. I didn't see that before. 7s. Yeah, we have 2 7s, a bottom and a top, and there's a 7 down here, so it has to go there. Great. 7s. 8s. There's only 1 8. Let me see now. 8. Well, here's an 8. Here's an 8. This becomes an 8. Now, here's something that I noticed. As soon as I put that 8 in, this row has only got 2 left. So let's put them in while we see it. The numbers are 4 and 9. Let's look around. 4, no, there's no other 4, and a 9. And okay, any 4s and 9s up in here? Well, we didn't have much success, but we know that it's a matching pair. We'll watch out for that. Now, because of that's a 4 9, look at this. Because that's a 5 6 5 6 matching pair, and there's only 2 cells left, this is a 4 9 as well. Wasn't that neat? Okay, pushing right along. Now we do the bottom section here. We have 2 1s, a 1 here and a 1 here. That gives us 1s in here. There's no 1s up in here, so we can put a 1 there and a 1 there. Okay, 2s. Any 2s? Nope, only 1 2. Okay, if I do a cross, no. Oh, look at that. Look at this. If I do a cross there and down here, that gives us a 2 here and a 2 there. If that fits too, okay? We have the 2, 2, so it worked not only being right, center, left, but it worked also with using the cross meet technique. Okay, 3s. There's only 1 3, too many spots. 4s. There's no 4s at all. 5s, 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, too many 6s, no 6s, 7s. We have 2 7s, and we can put the 7, 1 7 there, and 1 7 there. It goes in 2 spots, so we can put it in. 8s. We have 2 8s. We have an 8 on the right, 8 on the left. The 8 happens to be here or here. Can't be in the middle, so we can put those 2 8s in. There's an 8 and there's an 8. Well, we're doing all right. Things are happening. We're laying a foundation, is what I would say. Now, the 9s. Let's have a look at the 9s. 9s. There's nothing we can do on the 9s. But I'll tell you what, though. This could be a 9. 9. It has to be on this side. It can't be there. So therefore, down in here, we could have 9s. Oh, we could have 9s all over the place in here. So you can do it 2 ways. You can put 9, 9, 9 in, or you can just simply say a little 9 down in here with an arrow up. Now, it's pushing right along. What about, we'll do the verticals this way. We have 1s, no, 2s. Let me see, 1s, 2s, 3s. 3s are all there. 4s. There's 2 4s. 4, 4. A 4 can go here or here. Good. 5s. There's only one 5, but let me show you something here. If I take this 5 and go up to this block in here, a 5 can only be in 2 spots, there and there. Great, that's handy to know. 6s. We have 2 6s, a left, a center. It has to be down in here. This becomes a 6. Good. 7s. We have 2 7s, right, center, left. This becomes a 7. Now we have 2 7s along here. This is a top, a middle. A 7 can't be there, so it could be down in here. I'm glad I remembered to look that way. See, you've got to look both ways when you put a new number in. Now, let me see. We have a 6, 6, 6, 7, 7, 7, 8. 8 is already there. 9s. If we have 9 here, well, look at this. This is interesting. See this block here? That's the only one left in this block, and it has to be a 9. So what's the ramification of that? We have a right, we have a center. 9 has to be here or in here. Those 2 spots. Now, moving right along, we'll take this set of blocks now vertically. We have 2 1s, one here and one here. And they can be here, here, or here. So I can put a little 1 here with a little arrow down. We'll make that into an arrow so you don't get confused. 2s. Well, do you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to do a cross meet. Cross meet with the 2s. If you take this 2 and come down here, take that 2 and go across there, you've got a 2, 2 here. Now that is really neat. Look, if that's that, we know a 2 is going to be on the right, 2 is going to be in the center. Up here it has to be on the left, so this becomes a 2. Now I just noticed before, and I forgot to come back to it, here's a 1, 2, here's a 1, 2, matching pair. So that means that no longer can be a 2 up there, it becomes a 1. If that's a 1, we can have, what have we got left in here? We have a 2 and a 5. Well, there's a 2 down in here, so that means that this has to be a 5. Okay? And this has to be the 2. Fantastic. Now we have a 5, 5. There's 5 in, we have a 5 in here. We have a 5 in here. The 2, we go 2, 2, 2, 2. That's all there. What about coming down this way? Oh, look, this becomes now a 2. Right, center, left. So that becomes a 2. And that means that we can get rid of that other little 2 over here. Okay, so that really helped. Now that look at this. Now that we have a 5 here and a 5 here, this can be a 4, 5. Matching pair. Way to go. Well, I never. Fine, that's pushing right along now. We've got lots of things that when we did that. Now let's look at something else here. 8, 8, 8. I'm just looking around. 4, 4, 9. When we look at this, this is a 4, 9 here. This is also going to be a 4, 9 because it's a matching pair. Only 2 left in that column. But here we have a 9. So that can't be a 9. It has to be the 4. And the other one will have to become the 9. Oh, now see what's going to happen here. If that becomes a 9, this now becomes a 4. We get rid of that 9, becomes a big 4. Wow, things are happening here now. 4. Now, if we go across here, we had a 4 over here, didn't we? And this 4 goes and it becomes a big 9. Okay, now what's the ramification of all that? Let's look around. Well, when here's a 4, there's a 4, there's a 4 in here, so we can put a 4 there and there. When I was doing this up right here, I just suddenly noticed this. It's funny how you miss things. Here's a 3, a left and a right. That 3 also goes up there, and it goes there to make a matching pair. Because you see, here we have a 3, 4. So that makes that a matching pair. That's going to be really valuable to know. Now, I was doing 9s, wasn't I? Yeah, when we put that 9 in here, several things here we can do. That 9 goes, and it becomes a 1. And this becomes a 9. Okay, bottom, top, middle. Now that 9 goes. Now let's look at, there's so many things happening here, it's easy to miss something. Here's a 9 on the right, here's a 9 on the left. We could have a 9 here, and we could have a 9 there. Not down there, so we can get rid of this little thing here, because it's not 3 spots, there's only 2 spots now, which is great. Now, let's look around a bit more if we can. Have a look at this block here. There's two cells left. The numbers are 2, 3, 4, 4, and 6. 4 and 6. Matching pair again. Oh, I love those matching pairs, I tell you. Here we go. Now let's look at this column here. There's only 3 spaces left. 3 spaces left. And when I did this down in here, the 3, I missed the 3 here too. Look, here's a bottom, here's a top. You've probably been yelling at me, hey, Robin, you missed a 3 there. There's a 3 there because there's a 3 up there. Oh, see, I missed that before when I was doing the bottom section. Got carried away. It's easy to miss. But we found it. No worries. Push on. Not the end of the world. Okay. We were doing this column here, weren't we? 3, 4, and 6. Well, this is interesting. This is a 3. There's a 4 there, so this is a 3, 6. Okay. That 4 there means that there's a 4 here and a 4 here. Now, going up this here again, we have 4, 6 there. Here we have a 6, so that is a 3, 4. So a 3, 4. Well, we did a lot of little itsy-bitsies there, but it's really coming. Let's now, oh, look at this. Remember we had a 9 and a 9, and we said that a 9 would have to be in this section here. But the 2's already there, and the 3, 4's already there, and when it's part of a matching pair, you cannot put any other little numbers or big numbers there. So therefore, this becomes the big 9. That was a great discovery. Oh, yes, it gets exciting when you realise there's things coming together like that. So we have a top, a bottom, and a middle. Now we have a, well, let's look at this. Look at the top row. Can you see something there? If you look carefully, you can see we have a matching 3, 4. Now, one of my previous tutorials, I did a whole section on this. If you have a matching pair plus 2 empty cells in the same row, those 2 empty cells become, guess what? Another matching pair. And it turns out it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I've already got them there. 5 and an 8. There's your matching pair. Now, let's look down. Look at this. There's an 8 there. So that becomes a real 5. And the other one will become your 8. Isn't that fantastic? Top and middle, that's good. So this becomes an 8. Now let me see. That's interesting. Now we have something that I missed down here, I think. Yes. You know, you see it as you're going. Oh, I didn't get back to that. 8, 8. This is an 8. And that is a possible 8. Matching pair again. Okay. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And here we've only got 3 spaces in here. It's 1, oops, let me see now. No, we have 4. No, there's more than that. No, forget that. I'll come back to that perhaps. Let's take this 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Take this row here. We have a 6, 7, 8 and a 1. 1, 6, 1, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 1, 6, 7, 8. Well, we could have had a 1 in here. There's no 1s down in here, I think. We could have had a 1 in there. And then over here we could have there's a 1 here. So that would be a 6 is already there. So that's a 7, 8. And this would be, what's left here? This could be a 1 and a 7, 8. Okay, 8, 8, 8. Okay. Because of this, we've got a 7, 8. That means, oh boy, it's interesting. Okay, continuing on here. Here we have a triple, or a 3 by 3, a 1, 7, 8. And this could be a 1, and this could be a 7. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Now, it's funny. When I looked at this, can you see, I can see a danger, or some people call it a unique rectangle. The rectangle is made up of the 7, 8, 7, 8. If we're not careful, we're going to have a situation where there's 2 answers to the puzzle, and that's a no-no. There's always only 1 answer to a puzzle. And the way to overcome that problem, 7, 8, 7, 8, is to make this into a 1. And I've got a tutorial much earlier on that. So let's do that and see what happens. If this becomes a 1, what happens? Well, along here, that 1 goes, that 1 goes, and this 1 goes, leaving a 7. If that becomes a 7, we have a middle, top. This down here becomes a 7. Okay. If that becomes a 7, we can get rid of this little 7. And when I put that 8 in, I forgot to get rid of that little 8, so this now becomes a 6. Okay, wow, things are happening here. Okay, now we've got, this is interesting. We've got, here what do we got? We have a 1. 1 could be there. A 1 could be there. 1, 1, 1. 1 could be, a 3 could be there. Is there a 3 down here? No. 3 could be there. And a 4 could be there. And a 1. and a 1, 4 can be there. Here we have again another 3 by 3, a 1, 3, 4. Triplet. That's really important to check on that. If that's a 6, what have we got down in here? With this 4 now, no, it's not. No, that's not going to help us. Now we're at the stage where I'm going to finish off all the little numbers to save time. Be right back. Well, folks, I've now added the extra little numbers to save time, but you know, by doing that, I was looking at the puzzle and I suddenly realized, that I've missed some ramifications. When I put that 7 in, I should have made this an 8, okay? If making that an 8 will really finish off that whole row now, okay? If that's an 8, watch what happens. If that's an 8, this now becomes a 7, because that 8 goes, and that 7 goes, and this becomes an 8, and that's something I missed before, and I'm glad I stopped to put on the extra numbers, because I suddenly realized what I'd missed. Here, let me check. Right, left, center. Yeah, perfect. Now, getting back to here, when I put this 5 in and this 5, there's 2 5s that had to go in there. And it's interesting to note that if you look very carefully at this row down the bottom, that's the only place a 5 can go. What does that do? That means that this becomes a 5, and we can get rid of that other 5. And now we have a 1, 9. Wasn't that interesting? Now, let's look at this. 5, 5. One of these is going to be a 5. That fits perfectly. Okay. Now we're at the stage where I'm going to introduce you to something that I covered several years ago, but I'm going to revise it again. It's called the bug plus 1. Now, if you look, before I start on that one, have a look at all the numbers in the cells. Well, is there something interesting or something unique that you can see? Have a look at that. My sweetheart's nodding her head up and down. What about you? If you look really careful, every one of these single cells, except for one, is 2 little numbers only. Now that could be a problem, because what do? Now, do you guess? Try not to do that if you can help it. But there is one cell, just one cell that's got 3 numbers. And this is what we call the bug plus 1. I want you to look carefully at this. Here we have, well, by the way, I just noticed too when I was doing these numbers that we have a 1, 4, 9 triplet there as well. That's neat. But anyway, bear this in mind. All these little cells, they've all got only 2 numbers in them. A lot of them are matching pairs. But this one has got 3. Now this here is a triple, 1, 3, and a 4. Now what you have to do here is that you look for a small number that appears in each one of those cells. That's the first step, very important. And the number is 4. You follow 4, 4, and a 4. The next thing you have to do, there's 2 things you've got to look for. Look for a number that's repeated in each cell. The next thing you've got to do is to look for a cell, in this case it's the only cell in the whole puzzle, that has 3 little numbers, including the 4, and that's this one. And what you have to do is, you can try putting the numbers up in here and guessing up there. It won't work. But if you put a 4 here in place of that, make this a 4, let's see what happens. Bug plus 1. You have 2 things. A triplet, a number that appears 3 in 3 cells, and a cell that has 3 little numbers. So this now, we're going to make it a 4, and watch what happens. This becomes a 1. Okay. That 1 disappears with that one, and this becomes a 9. We finally got our 9. And that 9 goes, so we now have a 4, because they're all by value cells. By value. If that is a 4, this 4 goes, and this becomes a 2. Okay, if that 2 goes, this 2 goes, and this becomes a 1. Okay, now let's look at the 4. If this 4 and that 4, because we put that 4 in, this becomes a 6. And therefore, that was a pun, this becomes a 4. Here we go. And if we have left, right, center, left, now we have a 3, 6, 3, 6. Well, when we put that 4 in, that made this a 3, right? So that 4 goes, this becomes a 3. Okay, if that is a 3, that 3 cancels this 3 out down here, and this becomes a 6. And if that goes, it becomes a 6. This becomes your 3. Okay, just let me double check here. 6, 6, 6, correct. 3, no, that's, whoops, gee, that was nearly, you're probably yelling at me by now. That's a 3. Okay, now we have 3, 3, 3, that's all correct. Now this 3 means that 3 goes, and we get a 4. Okay, if we get a 4 there, that 4 goes, and we get a 3. Things are really happening here, aren't they? Now, let's push on. Let's have a look over here. This 9 means that 9 goes, and this becomes a 5. Okay, if that becomes a 5, this becomes a 2. 5 goes, and it becomes a 2. So, see what happens when you got bi-value cells. Oh boy. Bi-value meaning it's only 2 little numbers there. Here's 2, this 2 now has to go, and it becomes a 6. Okay. Okay, and that 6 has to go now in this cell, so this becomes a 9. Okay, 9. And because we got this 6 here, because we got that 6 there, I can see all kinds of things happening here now. 4, 4, 4, yeah, that's correct. That 6 means that this becomes a 5. And this becomes a 4. If that is a 4, this becomes a 5. If that's a 5, this becomes a 6. And if that's... I don't believe it. We solved it. Fantastic. Why? Because we discovered the boat plus 1, and we discovered a danger. So let's hope you learned something from this one. Can't wait to show you some more. So bye for now.